ما رو قبول کردند و در این نشست شرکت کردند. فکر نمی کنم احتیاجی باشه که ایشون رو معرفی بکنیم. چند سال گذشته زحمت کشیدن و به دلیل زحمت هایی که کشیدن مورد حمله شخصی هم از طرف جمهوری اسلامی ایران قرار گرفتن، در عین حال که ایشون به عنوان کسی که این ماندات رو قبول کردن با مسئولیت بسیار زیاد این کار رو انجام دادن و ازشون تشکر میکنیم. من میکروفون رو سریع در اختیار ایشون میذارم که بتونن صحبت‌های امروزشون رو آغاز بکنن و بعد از صحبت پرسش و پاسخ خواهیم داشت. بفرمایید، میکروفون در اختیار شما.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank Sudwind for inviting me to this event today, and then hasten to congratulate the winners of the awards just now for their work as human rights defenders. As you know, I had my report presented yesterday, and of course my reports are only one element of the many work I do on the mandate, but perhaps the most public part of it is the report. And as I said in my presentation yesterday, there are conflicting signals coming out of Iran after the new president took office. On the one hand, as you all well know, there have been his pledges of reform and a few baby steps taken towards implementing those. And of course, you all have your, differing comments and ideas and views on these steps. But nevertheless, there are some steps in the pipeline, and one must acknowledge those steps. And therefore, I said there are those that aspect as well. At the same time, I express serious concern, as I have been doing for the past few weeks, together with my colleagues in the special procedure system, other rapporteurs, like rapporteur for summary execution and so on, and the High Commissioner herself, on some of the more disturbing trends that are visible now over the past few months in Iran. And of course, again, as you all well know, I'm referring to the high execution rates that we are witnessing now. The year ended with about 678 executions that I was able to document for the past calendar year. And then this year has begun with a quite high rate, but about 10 days ago, the number was 176 executions. So a very, very high rate, by far the highest per capita anywhere in the world, and also in total terms still the second highest. So a very, very worrying issue. At the same time, while there have been, again, pronouncements about the importance of media freedom and attempts made to perhaps encourage media freedom, we do find quite chilling actions every now and then, such as the closure of the Bahar newspaper, the Asman paper recently, and also sentencing of Ms. Shafipur, a 7-year sentence for her, as you well know. So, on the ground, the situation still looks very, very disturbing. So it is a question of having rights on paper and not having them on the ground, and that is the issue to address. However, I advocated in my presentation yesterday to those countries who asked me what I think they ought to do. I encourage them for more engagement with the government of Iran, to speak more to them about human rights, and also to have a clear idea as to what is to be expected of the country in terms of human rights. So, for example, I said that there should be a focus on the treaty body recommendations made by the Human Rights Committee, an 18-member expert group. Even if you look at Iran's complaints about, say, my mandate, they certainly cannot complain in similar terms about the treaty body. 18 members, cross-regional, cross-cultural, cross-religious. You can't call them, accuse them of any bias in that sense. It is a very well represented group. Likewise, the recommendations made by the committee that looks after the second covenant, Economic and Rights Covenant, which met last year. Again, look at those recommendations. Also, Iran's own UPR commitments. So these are the things to move forward. But what I would like to see as a priority is countries encourage Iran to give more space for civil society. Not just those groups which Iran finds comfortable, but groups that they might even find uncomfortable with, such as those who advocate for human rights or active in the political field. So encouraging people to speak out with their own voices is something very important, and will also enable Iran to have, as their desire, a homegrown, home-driven, Iranian-driven reform process. So these were the recommendations I made. I am frequently told that my reports aren't comprehensive. Well, they can't be comprehensive because I am allowed 10,000 words, and if I report on every aspect I find of concern, then I don't have space. And of course, there is also the aspect that Iran says I am not reporting on the positive elements enough. That's the comment. That's the complaint they have. My comeback is, yes, I could report entirely on all the positive things. I can speak about the cup that is half full, but really, from human rights perspective, we help a country more by focusing on the half empty part of it, so they can actually do something about it. So. Even so, I try to find a balance in the positive things a country does, because you should encourage them, and also focus on what is disturbing and missing in that. I want to preempt perhaps comments on this by saying that in addition to what you see in my report, that is publicly visible, I have other tools that I use in my mandate, and these are what I call urgent appeals and allegation letters, which I now use only in collaboration with at least 2 or 3 other rapporteurs. And of course, you have the public statements which you see. Again, I rarely go alone on my own. I find a team of other rapporteurs who agree with the issues and have a joint press statement. So in addition to the press statement, what is not so public are the urgent appeals and the allegation letters, which are sent confidential to the government of Iran, giving them time to respond to these. I said they replied to 4 out of 25 over the last calendar year. It's not a very good record, but nevertheless they do. And I'm also aware that when these appeals go from a number of UN rapporteurs, there are steps taken in the country to try to address that. At least there is some reaction in the country. It is not ideal, but I think it is still useful. So many of you who feel that I have not perhaps added somebody's name to the list or had not covered one or the other aspect, I want to assure you that I address all issues in my complete sort of communications with the government of Iran. And if you find something's missing, I'm really open to dialogue on that, whether you think I am being biased in terms of identifying negative things or biased in ignoring them. Feel free to convey them to me. I have no agenda other than to convey to the government of Iran issues that their own people are finding with their situation. And that's what I want to say. So without taking on all your time, I want to again thank you for this invitation. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And thank you all and others who have contributed by conveying information to me, conveying their views to me about the work I do. Thank you very much.